Links to previous episodes are given in the video description, so don't forget to like, subscribe and share the video. Forsaken Luna, The Alpha's Regret. Episode 5. Chapter 48. Enzo's POV. Michelle has her head on my shoulder while I work on the remaining designs for the Fashion Week, which is less than a week away. For the past 3 days, I have been extremely busy with work, and the lady beside me totally understands that. She would take some rest at home or come to see me at the office, which always makes me happy. I now realize the importance of a Luna beside a man like me, because together, I can tag us the power couple. I suggested having the ceremony before the Fashion Week, but Michelle disagrees with it. She didn't want anything to come in the way of the show, and I can't be more proud of her. Even with the issue of Diego and Avra, she has also told me not to bother with them until the Fashion Week is over. Basically now she is my mum and I will let her do as she pleases. It affects me positively anyways. My thoughts are interrupted when the lady beside me yawns lightly and I pull my attention away from the computer in front of me. "You are tired. You should take some rest. How much longer will you take?" Michelle asks me, her face searching mine for an answer. "This can take a while. I will tell your driver to take you home so you can take some rest." "Not to." Her voice trails off when my mobile begins to beep. Seeing it is Izzy, I ignore it, but she continues to call, which kind of annoyed me off. I have told her to take care of things at the pack house for now until the Fashion Week is over, but she keeps calling even at the slightest inconvenience. Maybe I should throw her and her maid in a cell, then I will be rest assured that I have no one on my level to take care of the pack house. "I think you should answer the call," Michelle tells me. It could be important. Clenching my teeth together, I pick up the phone before pressing it against my ear. "Why are you calling me, Izzy Phillips?" I growl into the phone. "Diego escaped, Enzo," she says from the other end, and my eyes immediately darken when I hear her. What does she mean by Enzo escaped? What the heck do you mean? "I think we have a loophole in the pack. Someone released him." I angrily bang my hand against the table and Michelle flinches, making me relax immediately. I actually didn't mean to scare her. "Send out everyone available to look to him and find who the bastard is that let him go. I will send him to dine with the moon goddess today itself as I end the fall." My wolf growls in anger. Who dared to release him? Who was tired of living? The more I think about it, the more upset I get. The nerve of that delinquent! I am heavy on loyalty and I will never accept disloyalty from anyone, no matter who it is. "Diego escaped?" Michelle asks me and I nod. "It seems I have to go to the pack house later and fish out the bastard myself yet. You should do that." "That's wrong in all ramifications. I think I should take." My door burst open and my assistant literally runs into the room looking scared and terrified. "Sir? Sir?" Her voice keeps trailing off and on. "What, Maria? A weird man is causing a ruckus outside, sir," she tells me, and I immediately shoot out of my chair. I know exactly who the weird man is. Did he actually come here? Michelle asks the same question that is lingering in my mind. "What should we do, sir?" My assistant asks again. "He is scaring everyone on the down floor. I think you should wait for me here, Michelle," I tell her. "I don't know what he is up to and I don't want to put you in danger." Michelle nods and I press a kiss on her forehead and immediately, I hasten out of the office with my assistant. The moment the door of the elevator to the ground floor opens, Diego's face comes into view and he looks hideous. He must have been wounded while trying to escape because his clothes are stained with blood and I can see his claws protruding from his hands, and the things on the floor shows me the kind of damage he has already done. He is the one, sir, my assistant whispers into my ear as I feel her hiding behind me. Finally, you have come to meet me. Diego's annoying voice reaches my ears and I let out a sigh. I really have important things to do and messing around with this clown is not one of them. How dare he show his face in front of me and in my company? Is he tired of living? Do you know you are constituting to the nuisance around here? I start to take slow steps towards him. This is a work area and not your pack house. How dare you? I look around and I see everyone hiding in fear and it makes me really mad. Ever since I started this company, my workers' working condition has been one of my utmost priorities, and seeing how Diego has messed it annoys me to the core. Even I will not do this to someone else. Go! I slightly turn to my assistant who is still cowering in fear behind me. Take everyone and go to the second floor. I should be done with him in like 10 minutes. Will you be fine, sir? Do as I have said, Maria. I growl in anger and she scurries away, leaving me and Diego to ourselves. How are you going to pay for the damages, bastard? I ask Diego again while massaging the space between my brows. These properties are worth billions of dollars. He lunges at me but I dodge and his fist lands on the elevator, making it shrink back underneath his heavy fist. Diego immediately withdraws his hand and lunges at me again, but I duck and he falls into one of the nearby plants. I definitely don't have the intention of getting my crisp white shirt stained by this fool today, not a chance. Are you afraid that you might reveal your true identity to your workers? His mocking voice reaches my ears. Is that why you are afraid of fighting with me? The moment you walked in here, I already made a mental note to send only half your leg back to your pack, so you should be more worried about yourself than me. Angrily, he rushes towards me again, but I immediately grab his neck and shove him towards the elevator, and the impact makes the elevator door crash to the ground. Diego groans in pain as he pulls his body to a standing position, his eyes darkening with anger and pain. One question, Diego. I walk up to him and grab him by the throat while my other hand grabs his left hand, making it difficult for him to even move. How can he call himself an alpha wolf when he cannot even throw a punch? I scoff when I remember the circumstances in which he became the alpha wolf of his pack. He was the stepson of the former alpha and the opportunity came when he wasn't even qualified. Even Avra can be a much better alpha than him. The more I think about this, the more angry I become. How dare he try to make a space at my table when he is not even qualified to feed from the crumbs that fall off my table? How dare you, Diego? I growl into his ear. How dare you? You must think you are the prize because of your extraordinary strength. Yes. He blurts out, but I will make sure to have the whole table to myself. He suddenly digs his claws into my hand and I let go of his hand momentarily. Diego uses this opportunity to push me off, and like the speed of light, he is gone. I mutter under my breath as I straighten myself. He is such a hassle. Just as I turn around to go look for him, the elevator goes off and my attention goes to the headboard and my heart actually skips a beat for a brief second. He is on the 7th floor with Michelle. Michelle's POV. I turn my attention from my phone when I hear a low growl outside the door. My forehead creases into a slight frown because I know for a fact that it is not Enzo. He would have just come into the office. The growl reaches me again, but this time, it is louder and more clear, like the person is standing directly outside the door. Dropping the phone on the table, I stand up and slowly make my way towards the door. The growls and the snares become more intense as I get to the door, and just as I pull the door open, a fisted hand lunges at my face, but I quickly duck and the person rushes into the office. I don't even have enough time to comprehend what is happening, because before I can pull my body from the ground, a hand grabs my neck and backs me against the wall. This is when I get a good view of the person in front of me. His claws are grabbing my neck in a tight hold while his amber-colored eyes tell me who exactly he is. Diego. His name rolls out of my mouth and I see his lips curl into a mocking smirk. I can see you already know about me. His hoarse voice resonates in the room. You must be Enzo's woman, right? He has kept you hidden all these time. How beautiful. Get your hands off of me, I hiss before shoving his hand away. Diego staggers a few feet away from me and halts, his eyes darkening in the process. The ringing of my phone catches both our attention, but before I can make a move, Diego runs towards me like the speed of light, and in the process, his claws slash my arm and I groan in pain. He stops moving and the smirk on his face widens. So weak, he mumbles to himself. I hate wolves like you. That is for me to know, Diego, I tell him, anger surging through my body as I slowly begin to trot towards him, trying to make out his intentions. I know for a fact that he is trying to use me as leverage against Enzo, but I am not going to allow him to have that satisfaction. Diego's snarls hit the roof as he tries to grab me again, but I kick his legs and he loses his balance, making him fall to the ground. Compared to me, he is the weak one. I don't allow him to get up before I begin to slash my claws on his face in quick succession, keeping a reasonable distance away from him because of my pregnancy. I would have fought him with everything I have got, but I cannot jeopardize the health of my children. I know Enzo will soon walk through the door. Right now I am just trying to buy us some time. Right now, my entire hands are covered in blood, but Diego does not give up. With a heavy force, he pushes me and I crash against the wall, making me groan painfully. It is at this moment that the door flings open and Enzo rushes into the room, and when she sees me against the wall, his eyes immediately darken and he rushes towards me. Are you okay? Did he hurt you? Enzo. I scream out his name when I see Diego rushing towards us, and on impulse, I push him out of the way and Diego digs his claws into my shoulder and I hiss in pain. Suddenly, Enzo comes upon him and slashes his back, making blood spill all over his white shirt. Enzo doesn't stop there, he continues to attack Diego from behind until he finally falls to the ground and grabs my leg, but I kick him hard on the head. Under my gaze, Enzo removes something from his shoes and he injects Diego, making his whimpers die down and he goes unconscious. I let out a heavy sigh, realizing I have been holding my breath all these time. Are you okay? Enzo comes at me immediately, inspecting the wound on my shoulders. I need to take you to the pack house now. Who knows how venomous his claws are? I am fine, I tell him with a fake smile plastering across my face. Right now I am more worried about my babies than myself. The impact of the wall on my back was massive. You are bleeding, Mish, Enzo says again with a scowl on his face. I can heal myself faster than you can, Enzo, I tell him, but he will not listen to that. Removing his phone from his pockets, he dials a number before pressing the phone against his ear. Xavier, I want you to bring the pack healer to my office in 20 minutes. Any more than that, then I will have both your heads. He ends the call and dials another number again. I can already take a wild guess on who it is. Lawrence, Enzo's voice filter into my ear. come to my office now." He ends the call and returns his focus to me, the frown on his head deepening. "Why did you have to fight him though? You should have just run. I can't help but scoff. Why should I run? He could have done something much worse if I hadn't come." "Oh Enzo," I gently hold onto his hand as the smile on my face widens when I notice the wound on my body is already healing up. "You might not know this, but I have my father's strength. He was one of the best warriors of the pack and I inherited his strength when I was born. The only reason why I held back with Diego is because I am pregnant. I wouldn't have allowed him the opportunity if I wasn't even at that." He rolls his eyes. "I am here to protect you now, so you don't need to use your strength, okay? I will protect you and I mean it. I am sorry for coming late though, I knew you would come." He pulls me into his embrace and envelopes me in a bear hug. His heart is beating fast against his rib cage. He must have been very scared. "What did you inject him with though?" I can't help but ask him. "Wolfsbane," he answers in a whisper, his hand gently caressing my hair, just enough to keep him unconscious for a while. I always carry that with me because I know my enemies are always lurking. It's better to kill them when they're in their right senses so you can watch them wriggle in pain than killing them when they will hardly feel the pain." Enzo slowly pulls away from me, his gaze settling on me for a moment. "I will make him pay for laying a hand on you, Mish, and I swear on it." I know I sent him a smile. "I know you will always do that." He looks down on my body and he let out a sigh. My wounds are completely healed now and he looks so happy. "Why don't you take a shower and get changed? I will take care of things out here. How about we shower together?" I am clearly teasing him and he knows it. "Now is not a good time to get MW in the mood, my darling." He caresses my cheek gently. "I won't trap you in a filthy place such as this." My eyes travel back to the unconscious Diego and I clench my fist. How dare he try to attack babies? "Fine," I finally say, "I will take a shower now." Our conversation is interrupted when the door opens and Izzy saunters into the room alongside Xavier and the supposed park healer. Seeing the mess on the ground, her eyes darken. "Are you okay?" she asks me, completely ignoring her brother. "Did this bastard hurt you?" "I am fine, Izzy," I tell her. "Move aside," Enzo growls. "She needs to be checked." He leads me to a couch and helps me to sit down before the pack healer begins her work. She first checks my pulse and nods in approval. She also checks for wounds, but all are completely healed. Then she proceeds to check my eyes again before straightening up. "She is completely fine, Master," she announces. "And her babies? I can feel double her pulse, so her pregnancy is fine. I will make some concoction for her in case of any internal wounds. Her wolf is also fine." Enzo heaves a sigh again before turning to Izzy. "Where were you when this bastard escaped?" he inquires while his eyes darts across the two of them. "I put you in charge of him. I had gone to check on Hakeem's recovery," Izzy tells him. "Everything happened in less than 5 minutes and you—" He raises a brow at Xavier. "I was sparring with Van and I—" "Nonsense!" Enzo growls as he balls his hands into a fist. "I swear you would have been dead by now if anything would have happened to Michelle." He is clearly talking to the two of them. "You should thank the moon goddess for this very rare opportunity, and if by the time I come to the pack house and you don't have the culprit, it won't be funny." Izzy, I have never seen Enzo this angry before and I can literally feel the hair at the back of my neck standing on edge. He looks pretty scary right now. Not saying anything again, he walks up to me, grabs my hand and leads me into the condo. Michelle's POV. Seeing Nicole kneel down and beg for something she would have avoided triggered a kind of anger in me, and I just want to snap her head into two. How can she apologize for what she did when she clearly knew what she did wrong? Made me so upset. How dare she? The more I look at her, the more upset I become. My mind is filled with the thoughts of Nicholas and Natalie and how I want to make them pay for what they did to me, most especially Nicholas. I stand up from where I am sitting and I walk up to them before grabbing a hold of her hand and yanking her up, much to the surprise of everyone. Did you think about the consequences of your actions before you let him go? I ask her. Do you know what that one decision of yours almost cost me? The more I talk to her, the more I boil with anger. Right now, all I can see is Nicholas and Natalia. Babe, Enzo's voice filters into my ear as he encircles my waist. You need to calm down, all these stress is not good for you. I am calm, Enzo, I tell him. I am just annoyed that she will do such a thing. Tell me, what should we do to her? You make that decision. I wriggle myself out of his embrace. Because left for me, I will have her head hanging on stake just outside annoyed the pack house. That's a done deal then, Enzo announces, and the whole lot of them gasp. I actually didn't expect him to take my words seriously. Please master. Nicole falls on her feet again. I am ready to receive any other punishment except death, master. Please pardon me. Lock her up until I figure out what to do with her, Enzo announces, and Nicole is dragged off. He sets his gaze on Brenda, who also looks scared. She is definitely a culprit. And you helped her damage the CCTV cameras? Enzo asks her, and she gulps, making my blood boil the more. You sure have some nerves, Brenda, he snaps in anger while aggressively grabbing her neck. Have you forgotten how you got here? Enzo roars in anger. Have you forgotten how your father begged on bended knees before a rogue like you was accepted into my pack? I am sorry, master. Tears begin to stream down her eyes. I was only trying to help my friend. Nonsense. Enzo growls as he tightens his hand around her neck. Maybe I should use you as the scapegoat so others can learn from your foolish actions. Do you understand what I am saying to you? Blood is beginning to seep out of her neck and Enzo can actually kill her. I want to stop him, but something inside of me keeps stopping me. To me, whoever causes another person pain does not deserve to live at all. Don't kill her, Enzo. Izzy finally speaks up as she walks up to her brother. I promise I will give them a befitting punishment, says the lady who could not even find the culprit up until now. It was my mistake and I am willing to pay for it with everything I have got, so I should throw you in prison then. Enzo turns to his sister and I can see the veins on his neck popping out. How will you make up for this stupid mistake, Izzy? I will punish them accordingly, Enzo, she says. I swear on it. He lets go of Brenda and turns to the people eagerly awaiting him, all of them looking scared and confused. Henceforth, I will kill anyone who makes even the tiniest of mistakes. I don't have time to condone your stupidity, he growls, and everyone mumbles sorry, master, and if you think you cannot keep my rules as the alpha of the pack, speak now and I will send you to dine with the moon goddess. His eyes dart across the room but no one dares to say anything. Enzo commands a lot of respect and I can see that, the way everyone looks scared of him. Izzy, he turns to his sister again, added to your punishment, I want you to make sure Nicole and Brenda are tied up on the night of the full moon and watch their peers running around freely. Failure to do this and I will have you kneeling under a full moon with chains. Yes, Alpha Enzo, she answers with a gulp. I know she is mad, she is upset with her brother, but she cannot voice it out. These are the rules of the pack and she must follow them. I have seen Nicholas punish Lucy a few times. There was a time he had locked up with moonstones for a week and it wasn't funny. He didn't want anyone messing up because if he could do that to his own sister, he could do worse to others. Master, a random voice calls out from the crowd and my attention goes to him. It is a red-haired boy and he looks timid, he looks like a Sigma wolf. From the way he walks and speaks, I know he has calculated it in his head before calling for Enzo's attention. My name is Billy, and I know you, Billy. Enzo cuts him off. I remember bringing you in that rainy night. He gives a timid laugh while scratching his hair. Is she the new Luna of our pack? His eyes drift across to me and I can't help but feel a kind of pity towards him. All eyes turn to me but I keep an expressionless face. I am still angry at everyone. That is none of your business. Now Billy, Enzo tells him before turning to Xavier, take me to Diego. He holds onto my hand before leading me out of the hall. Once we are out, he stops walking and turns his attention to me, his face expressionless and his eyes darkening with each passing moment. How bad do you want them to grovel at your feet, Michelle? He asks me and I gulp. I know exactly what he is talking about. Enzo knows exactly what is going on in my mind and he knows why I acted the way I did earlier. My blood and everything that makes me is boiling with rage and anger. Will it be too wicked of me to snatch every single thing away from them? Tell me, kitten. He places a hand on my shoulder. How hard? Take away everything Nicholas has, including the pack he is most proud of. Enzo, I tell him while clenching my fist together, I want the two of them to have no option than to kneel and kowtow before me. I want their lives to become a living nightmare. Say no more, my darling. He pulls me into his embrace. Your wish is my command and I am going to give you a good show. You just need to relax and enjoy the show. The face slap will be one like you have ever seen before. I promise. I snakes my hand around his torso and press my head against his chest before heaving a sigh of relief. This man sure knows how to make me feel better just with his presence. After a while, I slowly pull away from him as a smirk appears on my face. But before we do that, I have a suitable punishment for Diego and I bet he will never recover from it. Fine then, you can do as you please with him. I turn to Mustafa, who is standing a few feet away from us, and beckons to him. As soon as he comes to a halt in front of us, I clear my throat before I start to talk. I want you to get me as many silver stakes as you can. I going to make his last days very tortuous for him. What do you plan on doing with the silver stakes, Luna? Mustafa asks me and I cannot help but scoff. Even I didn't even know that I could be this extreme, but I guess pain brings out a person's real character. Have you ever been pierced with silver stakes before? I ask and he nods in the negative. Good. Now I am going to turn Diego's healing power against him. The more he heals, the more the silver will cause more damage to him. That should teach him a lesson not to mess with a pregnant wolf. We can get very protective and ferocious. As I turn my attention back to Enzo, he has a proud look on his face and I know exactly what is going on in his mind. Let's add Avril to that list, he tells me. She has caused a lot of damage in the past few days. Of course, Alpha. I wink at him. She should be punished for having her eyes on my man. Enzo's POV. The door pushes open and my assistant saunters into the office with some documents in hand. This is 2 days after the Pack saga and everything is already going fine. The fashion week starts in 2 days and Michelle opted to stay at home so I can concentrate on my work. I really wish she was beside me, but I respect her decision and she needs all the rest she can get. Sir, I raise my head to meet her gaze. Here are the documents you asked for. Drop them on the table, I will look at them later, I tell her and return my focus to the papers in front of me. And sir, I sent you an email yesterday but you have not responded to it. What about the email? We found a model for the first outing but her agency wants to meet with you to discuss the terms. I told them that you are unavailable and our team will attend on behalf of you but their CEO wants to see you at all cost. Is she the only one available at the moment? Yes sir, all the models are already occupied and we cannot give them more outings. I thought we could pick one from the street fashion but it's impossible. Drop their details, I will give him a call later, I tell her without raising my head from the paper I am reading. Actually sir, she fidgets a little which makes my face crease up. I am busy, Maria, say something. The CEO is in town for a meeting and I am thinking you can meet him personally if you wish. I know this sounds absurd but this is the only chance we have got now to make all our models A-listers for the show. Will you make decisions for me now? I inquire with a frown appearing on my face. Not at all sir, I was just making a suggestion and I am sorry if I stepped out of line. Drop the details and leave. She drops a golden card on the table and immediately hurries off, but what catches my attention is not the card, it is the name written on it. Nicholas Woodsborne. Is he the same Nicholas? I am not quite sure as I pick up the card and skim through it. Is he really the same guy? Dropping the card back on the table, I pick up my phone before dialing her number and she picks it up almost immediately. Were you waiting for my call? I ask as I press my back against the chair. I was actually about to call you, Enzo. Her voice filters through, then your call came in. Are you missing me? Of course not. I can feel her roll her eyes and I chuckle lightly. No matter how angry I am, I always feel better whenever I talk or see her. Yeah, my voice trails off for a moment, I am not sure how to ask her about her ex-husband. You want to ask me something? Yeah, what's your ex-husband's full name? Really? Her voice immediately dampens. You called me to ask me that. Can you tell me already? I will tell you about it when I get home. Woodsborne, she answers and my eyes travel to the card again. Okay baby, see you soon. I end my call and pick up the card again as a smirk appears on my lips. The mouse has come right to me. I press on a button and after a few minutes, the door opens and Maria saunters in. Sir, make arrangements for dinner with Nicholas Woodsborne. Let's discuss on the terms. Her face breaks into a genuine smile. She is more concerned about the show while I am more concerned to see her ex-husband. Sir, I will get right to it. As she makes her way out of my office, I crumple the card and fling it into the wastebasket. His card doesn't deserve to even sit at my table. Dressed in a pair of blue pants and a black button-up shirt which I neatly tuck into my pants, I pull my hair into a bun before grabbing my car keys. Dinner is by 8 and it is a few minutes to 8. Michelle has called 1,000 times to ask why I asked about her ex-husband but I refuse to tell her. I know how sad she will get if she finds out that he is in Los Angeles too. With one last look at the mirror, I make my way out of the condo to see Izzy touring around my office. I haven't seen her since that day at the pack house and she looks bubbly. She must have made peace with what happened. Why are you here, Izzy? I have an engagement. Are you still mad at me? She asks. You put Michelle's life in danger. Of course I am mad at you. You should be careful next time. I only came to apologize, Enzo, she tells me. Perhaps you gave me an earful at the pack house. I am still recovering from that. That's because I love you. I pull her close and press a kiss on her forehead. I got to run now, see you later. After that, I make my way out of the office but not without grabbing my jacket. The drive to Royal Oaks is a short one and in no time, I bring my car to a halt before making my way into the hotel. Good evening, sir, the manager greets as he walks up to me. I hope my guest is well catered for. Yes, sir. He is waiting for you. Not bothering to respond to him, I make my way towards the elevator. The moment I push the door open, the face of a woman comes into view. The striking resemblance between her and Michelle hits me. This must be her so-called sister. How convenient of Nicholas to bring her. Compared to her sister, she definitely is average. My eyes dart across the room and rest on the man who is seated on the other side of the table, and I immediately recognize him. He was the same jerk that day at the hospital, the one who bumped into me. I can't help but scoff. Our fate has always been intertwined. Looking at the two of them, how I want to pin him against the wall and make him pay for what he did to Michelle. How can he actually choose this frump ant over my Michelle? Even my wolf laughs at my thoughts. No matter how much they resemble each other, this lady is way behind my Michelle. I did not expect you to be one of us. His voice floats across to me as I start to walk towards him. What do you mean, one of you? I ask him as I lower myself on the chair before him. Aren't we here to discuss business? What more? Of course a smirk appears on his lips. Seeing how arrogant back at the hospital, I am not surprised. I scoff. He actually recognizes me. Mr. Enzo, the lady tries to talk to me but I immediately stop her. I am here to talk to the CEO and not his assistant. An angry expression immediately appears on her face and I chuckle deep inside of me. I am purposely trying to rile her up and I am doing a good job at that. I am not his assistant. She snaps. His driver, maybe. I am his wife-to-be, she blurts in anger and I nod. My apologies, wife-to-be, I clearly don't want to talk to you. I return my attention back on Nicholas, who has his gaze on me the whole time. Do you have some kind of grudge against me? Do I? I push my back against the chair. Maybe we do. Are you sure this deal will work? Nicholas inquires again. Tell me, what are your terms? I just need your model for a week and that's all. Well, he press forward. Since you desperately need my model, how about Avanti partners with me on this project? My eyes darken at his request. How dare he? Is that why you wanted to meet me personally, Mr. Woodsborne? Are you in or out? Michelle's face flashes before me and I wonder what she will suggest in this situation. Right now the only thing on my mind is how to trap this man up and make him pay for bringing tears to her eyes, and I am going to do that, come what may. Fine, my face creases into a thin smile. I will tell my assistant to get the papers ready and we can sign them. Of course a fake smile also appears on his lips. Make sure to bring your wife along when we sign the papers, I tell him. I have a surprise for you. With this, I pull my body out of the chair and straighten my clothes. I should take my leave now. Of course, he gestures to the door. Our wolves don't really align, do they? At least we are on the same page for that. Not bothering to spare any of them another look, I make my way out of the room. As soon as I am out, I bring out my phone and dial a certain number and she answers immediately. Get ready, kitten, we have a dinner date to attend tomorrow night, okay? As I end my call, the smirk on my face intensifies. The face slap is going to be massive. Michelle's POV. The moment I hear the front door open, I immediately walk towards Enzo, who pulls me into his embrace the moment I get to him. He buried his face in the crook of my face and inhaled loudly. I have missed you. His voice filters into my ear, and I couldn't wait all day to hold you in my arms. He tightens his hold around me and I can't help but smile a little. No matter how ruthless this man is, he always makes me feel like I am the best person on earth. How can I not love someone like him? Every day I am thankful to the moon goddess for bringing him into my life. Did you have dinner? He asks and I nod in the negative. I was waiting for you. Why don't we take a shower together and I will make something for you? Not to worry, I already made something for us to eat. Enzo slowly pulls away from me and a slight frown appears on his face. What do you mean you made something for us? I made dinner. The frown on his face deepens as he presses his hands against his waist. Since when did you start entering the kitchen, Michelle? I was bored so I opted to make it. I answer with a shrug. It wasn't such a big deal. You are not allowed to enter the kitchen again, am I understood? But... He immediately cuts me off. No ifs and buts, Michelle, and I am serious about it. You are only allowed in the kitchen when I am making food for you. You just sit there and look pretty, okay? I can't help but scoff. This man sure knows how to patronize me. How about we take a shower together, then? I ask him again and the frown on his face disappears. It is replaced with a coy smirk. If I ever say no to that question, you are free to make a mess of me. Together we both make our way towards the elevator and into his room. I have a lot on my mind that I will like to ask him, but I want him to relax yet. I know Enzo already knows what's going on in my mind, but he is waiting for me to ask. This is the kind of relationship we share. We both understand each other, and that's one thing I am most grateful to the moon goddess for bringing him into my life. After we enter the room, I help him undress down to his briefs before trying to make my way into the bathroom when he yanks me closer and encircles my waist, our faces only inches apart. Why are you so upset, baby? He asks and I nod in the negative. I am not upset, I tell him, just tired, liar, he blurts. You already know what's going on in my mind and you are still asking me. I promised to tell you everything, didn't I? Yes, now stop sulking and smile for me with this. He slowly cups my face and presses a kiss on my lips. The kiss is slow and full of need and my body reacts to him almost immediately, like it has been waiting for it. Enzo places his hand behind my back and pushes his tongue deep into my mouth, fighting for dominance, and my mouth opens to welcome him, my body heating up at his touch. I want you, baby, he whispers into my ear. I have missed you so much and I cannot hold it anymore. He doesn't even wait for my response before claiming my lips again. Enzo's hand travel around my body. With his lips on mine, his hand continued to tease and squeeze me. How I want him to yank off my clothes and caress my bare skin. The more we kiss, the more tension increases and I can already feel my insides burning with lust and sensation. I want him like I have never wanted him before, and it is evident from my body language. I wrap my hand around his neck and slowly bites down on his lips, making Enzo groan in my mouth, and he immediately picks me up, wrapping my legs around him, and his hands cup my bum in the process. I flinch for a moment when he begins to walk slowly and he stops and withdraws his lips from mine. I won't drop you, Michelle, he rasps out. You are safe in my arms. Like this is the assurance I need. I crash my lips on his hungrily. When we get to the wall, he slowly drops me and kneels down in front of me, my heart skipping a beat at his gesture. What? Sha, he cuts me off and I gulp. Slowly but steadily, he lifts my leg and places it on one of his thighs before getting a hold of my panties. Just when I think he is going to slow pull it off, Enzo rips it apart and a gasp leaves my mouth. He is so aggressive, but I love it. I love seeing his dominating nature. I love when he makes me beg for mercy underneath him. Finally, he took me all in like I am the most sweetest thing he has ever tested. Enzo doesn't even allow me to catch my breath before picking me up and walking towards the bed. He gently lays me on it and my eyes travel around his body and stops on his bulge. Even his briefs didn't do enough justice hiding his large member. He really is huge. Slowly Enzo begins to trail kisses up my legs until he kisses my core before his hands caress my waist softly and I groan in pleasure. With one swift tug, he yanks my night dress off my body leaving me bare to his eyes. A smirk appears on his lips. I can never seem to get enough of you, kitten, he says. Partying my legs slightly, he inserted one of his fingers inside of me and he groans. You are so tight, kitten, he mumbles as I continue to tease his hard shaft. Thrusting in and out of me in quick succession, Enzo withdraws his finger abruptly and encloses his lips over it. You taste, divine sweetheart, he mutters and crashes his lips on mine, making me taste myself from his tongue. Enzo grabs a hold of my hand and pins me to the bed and gets on top of me, his shaft already positioned at my entrance ready to make a mess of me. You good? His raspy voice reaches my ear and I manage to nod despite the sweat that is already forming on my forehead, the rise and fall of my chest accompanying it. Slowly, he begins to guide his member inside of me and how I want to release my hands from his grip, but Enzo will not let me. Tears of pain and pleasure start to slip out of my eyes as he finally fills my inside with his whole length and let out a sigh. I am not sure if I will ever get used to his length. I will move now, Enzo whispers into my ear and claims my lips before he begins to thrust deeper and deeper into me. All done, he announces as he helps me get dressed and I can't help but smile at him. I am even too tired to get up. Enzo had to clean me up and get me a new fresh set of clothes and now we are lying down on the bed and facing each other. All I can see is the love for me pouring out of his eyes and I want to keep seeing that forever. Tomorrow is my checkup, I tell him and he nods. I have already informed Mustafa. He will take you. I can manage on my own, Enzo. You do not need to do that, that's final baby, he blurts. I won't leave you alone in a city you barely know if you say so. After a while, Enzo pushes his body to a sitting position, his whole attention is still fixated on me, like he wants to tell me something which I have been anticipating. Nicholas is in town, he says after a while, and my heart skips a beat. What does he mean by Nicholas is in town? And he is the one we are having dinner with tomorrow? Michelle, he drops another bombshell, and for real, I am speechless. Am I healed enough to meet him now? Is everything worth it? I have already made arrangements for your dress and everything, Enzo announces again. You just have to show up for dinner looking pretty. From the look of things, he has already made up his mind. So I don't have a choice. Making your ex-husband and your sister pay for what they did to you starts tomorrow? Kitten, he announces again as his gaze darkens a little. Tomorrow, I will be announcing my woman to the world, so get ready for all the attention you will start getting. And as for Nicholas, I will gouge out his eyes if he stares at you for too long. I don't bother arguing with him because I know Enzo will not change his mind for anything in the world. He wants to make Nicholas bow to me and he wants to do it in a way that the whole world will know about it. I have a surgery scheduled for 11 am. His voice jolts me out of my thoughts. It is an impromptu surgery and I have to leave now. He presses a kiss on my lips. Take care of yourself and I promise to make you dinner some other time. With this, he pulls his body out of the bed and make his way towards the wardrobe. My eyes continue to linger on him and a small smirk appears on my face. With this man by my side, Nicholas and Natalia's downfall will be massive. I hope I can keep my eyes and hands off you tomorrow during dinner. Enzo calls out from inside the closet. I can already imagine how you will look. A small laugh escapes my lips. I can also not wait. Nicholas's POV. My eyes flutter open when I feel someone press a kiss on my lips. I see Natalia hovering over me and my face curls into a small smile when her feminine scent filters into my nostrils. No matter how angry I am, this lady has the ability to calm me down and I want to keep her like that forever. You look tired, she says while pressing another kiss on my lips. What can I do to help? Nothing, baby, I tell her. I am perfectly fine. The dress for the dinner date arrived and it's really lovely. Thank you so much, Nicholas, she tells me as she straddles me, her exposed cleavage left for my eyes to savor. My mind unknowingly drifts off to Michelle for a moment. I know the dress Natalia is talking about. Up until 3 months ago, I was designing that dress to gift Michelle on our anniversary, but I guess it doesn't belong to her anymore. Back then, I was really anticipating when I would get to see it on that beautiful body of hers. What are you thinking so intently about? Her voice jolts me out of my reverie of thought. Nothing, sweetheart. I cup her neck and yank her closer before claiming her lips, but Natalia pulls away from me with a frown on her face. Why are you suddenly upset, Nat? I ask. You didn't say anything to that man when he talked to me like I wasn't even allowed to be there. I already told you, right? I pull my body up with Natalia still on me. I won't allow anyone to disrespect you and I am going to make him pay for speaking to you in that manner, but you have always wanted to work with him. Won't it affect your collaboration? Not to worry, sweetheart. I caress her cheek gently. Let me handle that. Her face creases into a smile again. I am glad we came to Los Angeles, Nicholas, she says after a while. I really needed the change of environment. I know, right? I look at my watch and it is already a few minutes past 5 and dinner is slated for 7. Why don't you take some rest before dinner? How about we do something nasty instead? Her lips curl into a coy smirk. You know how I love it when you dominate me. You know how I love it when you dominate me. Michelle's voice rings in my head and I end up laughing at my own thoughts. That girl was literally in love with everything that makes me me. She was obsessed with me. You are deep in thoughts again. Natalia's voice jolts me out of my thoughts again. How about we do something crazy after we sign the papers? I ask her, my fingers slowly caressing her bare hand. I don't want to tire you out before dinner. Of course. Natalia presses a kiss on my lips. I should get started on my makeup. Sure. As she makes her way out of the room, my mind drifts off to Michelle again. 3 years ago she was over the moon when I manifested myself as her mate. She was ecstatic and showered me with all the love she could give me. She was the perfect wife and the perfect Luna. Everyone loved her, but things changed when I found out what she did to Natalia. How could she hurt her like that? I am not sure what is going to happen, but I am sure I did the right thing by letting go of her ass. She doesn't deserve me. Do you miss her? My wolf asks inside of me. You keep thinking about her lately, miss. I scoff as I pull my body out of the bed. Michelle is a gone case for me. She will never come back into my life again, and moreover, She has a little boyfriend who is spoiling her silly. The more I think about it, the more upset I become. How did she move on so fast when she claimed she loved me? You moved on too, my wolf tells me, and I grit my teeth in anger. Natalia has always been the love of my life, I hiss out in anger, and she just found some random boy on the street to have sex with? What happened to her self-esteem? My wolf doesn't say anything again as I rake my fingers through my hair while clenching my fist together. I don't even know why I am very upset just thinking about that. With one last look at the mirror, I nod in approval at myself. The blue tailored suit sits perfectly well on me and I can't help but admire myself. I really am an epitome of grace. My eyes travel towards the door that has just opened and my lips open slightly. The dress is just as I have imagined, even if it is not on Michelle, it looks divine. How do I look? She asks while taking slow steps towards me. You look gorgeous, my love, I tell her. The blue silk dress accentuates her curves and the slit running up to her thighs make me gulp. For a moment I wished not to go for dinner again and just kept staring back at her. Just gorgeous. You look everything beautiful, Nat, I answer, and believe me when I say I want to keep staring back at you and continue thanking the moon goddess for bringing you back into my life. I walk up to her and press a kiss on her forehead. We should get going now. I will just grab my purse as the sound of her heels clicking on the marble floor. I wish Michelle is the one in that dress. After grabbing her purse, Natalia and I make our way towards the front door of the hotel where the car was parked. Sir, my assistant walks up to me with a confused look on his face as we walk towards the car. What happened now? I ask him. I just received a message that the dinner venue has been moved. Mr. Enzo said his wife is too busy to leave the house, so he has decided to have dinner at his home instead, and he sent his house address. Isn't he trying to make us feel like we are the ones who need his help rather than the other way round? Natalia sounds very frustrated and I can imagine it. How dare Enzo do something of the sort? Does he think he can boss me around? Fine, I reply to him after a while. Let us go to his house. I am also interested in seeing the woman he cherishes so much that he has disrespected me in such a way. I am not going to let him go scot-free. Why do I feel like this Enzo guy has something up his sleeve? Natalia rasps out as she turns to me. Firstly, he didn't recognize the fact that you are one like him and he kept talking down at me. And now this? What the heck is he trying to do? Temper, I tell Natalia. I also have something up my sleeves. I turn to my assistant. We should leave now. We don't want to be late. As the car drives out of the premises, I can't help but think of why Enzo is playing so hard to impress. After half an hour, the car finally comes to a halt in front of the mansion and I alight before holding the door open for her. Enzo is already walking towards us and he has a huge smile on his face while dressed in a pair of joggers and t-shirt. Is he actually kidding me right now? Who comes to dinner with joggers on? Mr. Woodsborne. He comes to a halt in front of me. I am glad you could make it. His eyes travel to Natalia and he sends her a smile. And I must say, your would-be wife looks really good in her dress. You should have given me a heads up earlier if you were going to change the venue for the dinner. It came as a last-minute decision, he tells me. I let my wife make it. My forehead creases into a frown. What the heck is he on about? I must say you have a lovely house. Natalia chips in and he nods. I think you both will be upset if I say I had it redesigned 2 days before I brought my mate home. At the mention of mate, my wife drifts off to Michelle, but I shake my head to rid myself of her thoughts. This is not the time to think about her. Why don't you come in? Enzo suggests. My assistant and the press will be here soon. The press? I am actually surprised. Of course, Nicholas, his voice becomes a bit hoarse. We should make sure this historic moment goes down in history. Avanti has not worked with any brand before. You are the first and I have an announcement to make, so it's called killing two birds with one stone. We should go in now. My wife is eager to meet you. The smile on his face widens and we start to walk towards the door. He stops for a moment and returns his gaze to me. And pardon me for the choice of clothes. Tonight is specifically for my wife and I want all the attention on her. His lips widen in a smirk and my forehead curls up. As soon as he pulls the door open, a look of surprise flashes through my face as my eyes travel towards the stairs and I see the lady standing at the top of it. Mr. Woodsborne, Enzo's voice reaches my ear from a distance. Meet my wife and Luna, Michelle Phillips. Natalia's POV. The moment my eyes settle on the lady at the top of the stairs, my heart actually skips a beat. It can't be her, can it? What is she doing here? It is someone that looks like her, yet? The more I continue to stare back at her, the more confused I get. Even Nicholas has his mouth open in awe. Not in my life did I ever expect to see her here. How did she even get here? What exactly is she planning now? Truth be told, I cannot wrap my head around the fact that Michelle is in this house, and what did Enzo just call her? His wife? How can she be his wife? She hadn't even divorced Nicholas for a month and another man is already calling her wife? Is this some kind of joke or something? What exactly is she doing here? Isn't she supposed to be somewhere begging for help from strangers since she refused the alimony that Nicholas offered her? She isn't supposed to be living in luxury like this. Something is definitely wrong somewhere and I am going to find out how this sister of mine is with Enzo Phillips, the Enzo Phillips that has the world at the tip of his finger. For a moment, my eyes travel to Nicholas and he still has that look on his face. Is he happy to see her? Is he having second thoughts? I cannot even decipher what is going on in his mind as he continues to stare back at her. Or is he looking at her dress? I can't lie, she looks so good in that bodycon dress that accentuates her figure. I scoff. Michelle took everything our parents had to offer, even our mother's very beautiful figure. The moon goddess must be really backing her up to give her everything on a platter of gold. But why the heck is Nicholas still looking at her? Does he want her back? I clench my jaw in anger. Michelle has always been my number one enemy since she was birthed into this world, and she is not even trying to make amends to rectify that situation. She is supposed to be suffering after leaving Nicholas, but here she is, clearly being worshipped by Enzo. With each step she takes down the stairs, I can't help but imagine how hard she must have tried to get Enzo's attention. I am certain he is not aware of her kind of person, and I am going to make sure he sees her for who she truly is. She is your wife. Nicholas's voice finally breaks the silence as he turns to Enzo. She is your wife. You seem to have forgotten about the part where I said mate. Enzo retorts. Have you forgotten? We are one of a kind, aren't we? You have got to be kidding me, Nicholas blurts again as he returns his attention to Michelle, who is now standing beside Enzo with a thin smile on her lips. Do you even know who she is? I butt in and all eyes turn to me. Of course, Enzo replies. You are her elder sister and this man is her ex-husband. Is there something more I should know? What? I am taken aback for a moment. Michelle actually told him? Is she trying to play the saint now? Hello Mr. Woodsborne. Michelle's voice filters into my ear as the smile on her face widens. My husband told me you were coming, so I had to do everything to welcome you. We shouldn't let our guest have dinner at a hotel when we have this big house that can accommodate more than 10 people of your kind. Are you kidding me right now? Nicholas finally finds his voice. Like, are you being for real? I don't understand. What do you mean? By now the smile on her face has disappeared. Do I look like I am kidding you? What are you doing here? Nicholas asks her again. You are not supposed to be here. Then where is she supposed to be? Enzo chips in, his eyes darkening. Look Enzo, you don't even have her as much as I do. I try to talk but instead he glares at me. We are in no way on the same level for you to call me Enzo. He spits in anger. You are in my house and you will accord some respect to my wife. I ball my hand in anger when I see Nicholas still looking at her like a fool. Can't he even say a proper word? Aren't you here to sign the papers for the collaboration of Avanti and your company, Nicholas? Michelle inquires again. I think we should focus on that, or you might as well leave with your self-respect threading behind you. Don't you dare speak to me. Nicholas tries to speak but Enzo immediately cuts him off. Don't you dare do that, Woodsborne. He takes a step closer to him. We don't want to spill blood now, do we? Enzo's teeth clench in anger as he talks. Hey baby. Michelle turns to him and presses a kiss on his lips. Why don't you show Mr. Woodsborne the dining where we feed people who need our help, and I will have a word with my elder sister here. The smirk on her lips intensify, and at this moment, I just want to grab a hold of her and send my claws deep into her stomach and watch her die slowly. How dare she speak to us in that manner? Has she forgotten who Nicholas is? The only reason why Nicholas is here is because he wants to venture into the international community. How dare Michelle do this? Mr. Woodsborne, my assistant will be here in a few. Why don't we have a talk before she comes, or aren't you interested anymore? Seeing that you have an issue with my wife here, I am no longer interested. Nicholas blurts in anger as he begins to take slow steps towards Michelle, his eyes darkening and whole body shaking in anger. How dare you, Michelle? He growls in anger. How dare you disrespect me in such a way? Have you forgotten who I am? I am your mate, and I can have you here and now if I so desire. Do you know that? She opens her mouth to say something but Enzo signals to her and she goes silent while he comes to stand behind her before snaking his hand around her waist in the face of Nicholas and cups her neck in a sensual manner which makes my insides churn. They are not even hiding the fact that they are each other. I think you chose your tenses wrong, Woodsborne, Enzo announces as he presses a kiss on her bare shoulder which makes Nicholas ball his hands into a fist. Yes, you had her but you cannot have her now. I will kill you and have your head hanging on a stake before you can even think of touching her. And what did you say again? His forehead creases into a frown. Mate? The audacity of you to stand in my house and call the woman that belongs to me your mate. Are you tired of the position you hold in our world? Should I take it away from you? You do not get to speak to Nicholas in that way, I blurt in anger as I walk up to them. You are defending a woman whom you barely know because she threw herself at you? I thought the Enzo Phillips I know is better than this. I mean, look at her. I am burning with anger as I continue to stare back at the couple who are acting all lovey-dove in front of us. What did she offer you? Nicholas inquires, his voice full of sarcasm. Her body? Did she tell you how on many a night when I trapped and she begged for more? You trapped her like an animal. Michelle is in front of us making her gasp and smile, but I made love to her and brought pleasure to her feet. Don't ever think we are the same? Man, I wish you died. Michelle, I half yell in anger, and almost like lightning, someone grabs a hold of my neck and pushes me against the wall. How about you die in my place then, dear sister? Michelle suggests as her hand tightens around my neck and her eyes darkening like in a way I have never seen before. Nicholas's POV. As soon as I set my eyes upon her at the top of the stairs, I gulped. She looks so pretty from the last time I saw her, with that beautiful dress gracing her body. Her hair is pulled up in a neat ponytail, and those long legs remind me of those days when she would wrap them around me and I would take her time without numbers. But hearing Enzo call her his wife makes me so angry. How can she be his wife when we have barely divorced for a month? How did she even meet him? Was it at the hospital? Is he the little boyfriend that sent the alimony back to me? The more I think about it, the more I am unable to place what is happening. Seeing the way he cups her neck and presses a kiss on her bare shoulder makes my blood boil. The Michelle I knew was one of the sweetest Lunas. How did she end up tangled with someone like Enzo? The more I look at it, the more it looks like a sham to me. How can good things happen to her when she is the worst? Locking her own sister up and making me believe I cannot father a child, she is the worst of all, and now she is in the arms of another man claiming he is her husband? And what more, she actually wants to kill Natalia with the way her grip is on her neck. This is not the Michelle I know, this one is totally foreign, and I can't help but hate her more. Now I know why Enzo changed the venue. He wanted to make a mess of me by showing Michelle to me, but he doesn't have the slightest idea what I can do. I am the one who willingly let her go. How can I still be affected by her? The only thing making me unable to keep my eyes off of her is the beautiful dress on her body. I have heard about it, the famous maple that Enzo has been designing for years, and he talked about it in several interviews. How important is she to him that he will gift her maple to wear? Let me go. Natalia's voice jolts me out of my thoughts, and this is when I realize that I must have zoned out again for the umpteenth time since I saw her at the top of the stairs. Why? I see her lips curl into a mocking smirk. Can't you die for me? Michelle asks her. You want me dead, don't you? You should die in my place. Then I see her tighten her grip on Natalia's neck and her claws are beginning to dig into her neck. I make to move towards them, but a voice halts me. Can you see that? Enzo's voice filters into my ear and I turn my attention to him. He has a proud smirk on his face and how I want to wipe it off. Can you see the amount of power she wields, Mr. Woodsborne? I should really be thanking you for letting her go. I would have not found my mate. What makes you so sure that she is your mate, Enzo? I growl in anger. I had just rejected her a few weeks ago. You think she is your mate because she offered you her body? Do you know why we are different? He takes a step closer to me. The fact that you are a boy, not a man, makes us very different. How? My voice trails off when I hear Natalia yelp for pain, and I immediately turn to see Natalia on the floor and Michelle hovering above her. The only reason why you will leave here alive today is the fact that you and I shared the same womb, Natalia. Michelle hisses in anger, or I promise I would have made you pay for the pain you caused me. Right now, you are not even fit to walk where I walked, Natalia. To Nicholas, you are the love of his life, but in the real sense you will always be the other woman. The one who destroyed a marriage and a mate bond. She turns her head towards me and I can see anger spewing from her entire being. I have never witnessed Michelle's anger, but seeing her right now, I just realized that there are a lot of things I never knew about her and it annoyed me off the more. How could she be so secretive during our marriage? But you don't have the blame, dear sister. Michelle begins to walk towards me. The fact that I spent 3 years living with an animal lower than what we are appalls me. I should have known better. Now she is standing face to face with me, her eyes full of anger, and you dare to stand there and talk to me? The more she talks, the more her anger builds up. Easy, my love, Enzo tells her as he walks up to her. You know you shouldn't stress yourself, you. My voice trails off when the door opens and some people venture into the vast living room, and when I see them with cameras, I already know who they are. Enzo and Michelle must have come up with a foolproof plan to make a mess of me. I should have known better when Enzo agreed to become a partner with me. He has been refusing to work with me for the longest time, and now this. Taking my finger through my hair, I clench my fist in anger. Natalie pushes her body from the ground and walks towards me, tears welling up in her eyes. Seeing that, I want to grab Michelle by the neck and make her pay for daring to disrespect her like that, but for the sake of the reporters, I have to keep my cool. Mr. Enzo, the reporters crowd around the two of them. Why have you invited us to your house today? One of them asks. Are you going to reveal something huge today? Another chip in. Tell us, are you finally going to reveal who the woman behind Avanti is? Is this the famous Maple you have talked about severally in your interviews? Another inquired as all eyes turns to Michelle. Is she the lady behind the shadows? Well, Enzo clears his throat as he drip his hand over her shoulder, her lips widening in a smile. Since you have all been curious for a while now, I will feed you all the food you want. He turns his focus to Michelle and I can see love pouring out of his eyes for her. Avanti will no longer belong to only Enzo Phillips but to his wife too. Michelle Phillips. A silent gasp leaves the little crowd. Are you married, sir? Did you have a silent wedding? Another asks. This has come as a shock to us, sir. Another intones. Tell us about it, sir. Are you married? Yes, and to my lovely wife here. He presses a kiss on her forehead. She owns Maple now. He gently holds onto her hand, and tonight is specially for her, to welcome her into a world where no man born of a woman will be able to hurt her as long as I remain Enzo Phillips, and I am saying this. Anyone who tries to hunt her will become my prey, and I will hunt them down to the depths of hell if need be. His eyes flashes towards me and I clench my jaw in anger. The sounds of cameras clicking to get a picture of them together makes me more upset than I should. How did I become a laughing stock? Now you can see her true colors, Nicholas, Natalia says to me, but I completely ignore her with my attention on the two people who were acting all lovey-dove. Congratulations keeps coming out of the crowd as everyone smiles and grins. They feel it is a happy occasion. Your wife is very beautiful, I must say, another reporter says, and Maple looks good on her. It must have been for her from the beginning of the design. I hope you and your wife can grant us an exclusive interview, sir. Another reporter adds as they continue to click pictures. We got an intel that Avanti will be partnering with a new company, sir. Is that also part of the reason why you have invited us to come to your house today? Is this a case of killing two birds with one stone? A smirk appears on my lips. Now I want to see how they will escape from this. I am anticipating the lie they will both cook up. Well, Michelle begins to speak as her focus turns to me and all eyes follow her. it seems Mr. Woodsborne here won't be signing the contracts since he is uncomfortable with the fact that I am his ex-wife and I am now married to someone who is clearly his boss when it comes to business, she announces, and for a moment, I am genuinely taken aback at her outburst. Enzo's POV. 3 hours ago. As soon as I step into the room, my eyes open wide as I behold the lady standing in front of the mirror. This is the dress that I have been designing for months, and seeing it on her body, I can't help but be proud of myself. The details, the way it clings to her body and accentuates her figure, the flowery pattern and everything is just as I have imagined, and it is safe to say this is the most gorgeous piece I have ever created. Michelle has her hair pulled back in a ponytail and the little makeup on her face looks so beautiful on her. This woman is an epitome of beauty and grace, and that's the biggest truth. I can't help but swallow hard as I continue to take slow steps towards her, my eyes not leaving her for even a moment. You look so breathtaking, my love, I say as I snake my hand around her waist. You look spectacular. This dress is sure very pretty, Michelle answers. You did a great job with every single detail of the dress and I love it. Maybe the moon goddess knew I would meet you and gave me the idea of this dress. My eyes travel over her and I press a gentle kiss on her forehead. You look very stunning. You sure have gifted hands, Enzo, she tells me. You are good with making people feel better at the hospital, and you are good with making people beautiful with dresses. What can't you do? Do you know what this dress is called? I ask her. I watched your interviews yesterday, Maple, and do you know the meaning of maple? A sign of love and friendship, wisdom and endurance, Michelle answers. It has a lot of meaning and that makes the dress more attractive, Enzo. I am glad that I got to wear this. It belongs to you now, princess, I tell her. Maple is yours now. Her lips curl up. So how should I repay this kind gesture of yours? Gifting me something that could clearly fetch you billions of dollars if not more. Well, I bite down on my lower lips. How I want to draw her in and kiss her, but I don't want to ruin her makeup. Today is just about her and I am going to make sure she shines the brightest. I will take my payment later, Mrs. Phillips, I tell her, and you know what that means. I can't not tear this dress into 1,000 pieces and make you moan my name now, but I will surely have you begging for more later. Michelle chuckles lightly. She loves my naughty side and I am not going to stop being naughty for her. Mrs. Phillips, hey. She snakes her hand around my torso. I love the sound of that, of course. You should love the sound of being my wife. I know you wouldn't want to go the stress, so I have asked the bureau officer to come to the house and we will sign the marriage certificates. I want to be bound to you as a mate and legally as a husband. Okay then. Michelle presses a gentle kiss on my lips. Your wish is my command. I tighten my grip on her waist and pull her in. Our bodies only inches apart and I can already feel my member getting hard. This woman turns me on without even working for it. I overheard you telling Maria to tell Nicholas's assistant to bring them here. I nod. They are not worthy for you to meet them. They should come to you like the beggars they are. And why are you not dressed? She inquires with a raised eyebrow, her eyes traveling over me. Today, I want you to shine the brightest, my love, and I am already dressed. Michelle looks at me for a while and pounces into my embrace. Even without her words, I know she is grateful for the gift of me, but I am more grateful for the gift of her. The fact that she belongs to me and me only makes me more excited than she can ever imagine. I love you, Enzo, she mutters. I love you more, my love, I tell her, and I mean every word of it. Now seeing her stand in front of the press and telling them about her ex-husband without even batting an eyelid, I can't be more proud of her. This is the woman I want to protect with everything I have got. This is the woman I want to give the world, and this is the woman I want Nicholas to wish he didn't let go of. Now, with our marriage certificate sitting beautifully in the closet and our bond stronger, I know we would be together forever. As the press continues to bombard her with questions, I don't bother to stop them. This is her time and I am going to make sure she shines the brightest. Mrs. Phillips, what do you mean when you call him your ex-husband? One of the reporters asks her. Did you advise him to come for a collaboration because you people had a relationship? Why did you and Mr. Woodsborne separate? A lot of questions are popping up, but the smile on her face remains. I know she can handle such a huddle. Mr. Woodsborne, please tell us what you think about this. Another reporter asks Nicholas. He won't be able to tell you anything. Michelle's voice resonates in the room, because he doesn't even know what to say. She further adds, and I can't help but scoff. She really is a nutcase. Mr. Woodsborne, Michelle turns to him again. Are we really going to wash our dirty linen in public, or we will sign the deal? You clearly started this, Nicholas growls in anger. You came into my home and you began to tell Enzo how you have had me thousands of times, how I moan and beg you not to stop. Did you stop to think about how you were tarnishing my image in front of him? Anger is evident on her face and I can see her ball her hands into a fist. Do you really want to do this in front of the press? Natalia chips in with a disgusted look on her face. You are clearly the one embarrassing yourself. Embarrass. Michelle scoffs before turning to the sea of eyes in front of her. Most of you are married, aren't you? Of course, ma'am, some of the reporters respond to her. Isn't X something that is important in a relationship? She asks and they nod in agreement, then making her return her attention to her ex-husband again. So what gives you the right to think that you can belittle me by telling Enzo about how many times we had linked? Weren't we married? Nicholas is short of words. He clearly was not expecting things to turn out this way, and I cannot be more proud of my woman. How dare he try to insult her? Without saying anything to Nicholas again, Michelle returns her attention to the reporters and a little smile appears on her face yet again. Since you are all here now, do well to make yourself comfortable. You can think of this as a mini reception for our wedding. Thank you, Mrs. Phillips, they chorus before Maria and a few of my employees lead them towards the large banquet hall, leaving the four of us to ourselves. I know for a fact that the whole country will shake to its foundation tomorrow after these reporters cook up their stories. Don't you think you are being too wicked in this situation, Michelle? Natalia hisses in anger. How can you discuss such a sensitive topic with the press? You are lucky I didn't tell them how you seduced him and got pregnant for him. You are so lucky I did not. Don't you dare go over the bar, Nicholas growls in anger. And don't you dare use that tone with my wife, I half yell. Don't even think about it, Nicholas scoffs as he slowly begins to walk towards her. You seem to be forgetting that the divorce papers are still in court and I can have you back as my Luna and my wife. Don't make me do it. A thin smile appears at the base of her lips. And you claim to love my sister. Do you want to bring me back so bad? That is not what he means, Natalia retorts. Since we will not be signing the contract, I think the two of you should get out of my house before I change my mind and do something drastic. I walk up to her and gently encircle her waist. I can feel the pain emanating from her and how I want to make it all go away. This is not the last of it, Michelle Woodsborne, Nicholas growls before making his way out of the house, completely forgetting about Natalia. The moment the door closes behind them, Michelle pounces into my embrace and the tears she has been struggling so hard to contain burst out of her eyes. Michelle's POV. I feel a hand snake my waist and I pull closer to him before pushing my eyes open. His scent filters into my nose and I can't help but smile a little. After the whole Nicholas saga, Enzo had to leave for an impromptu meeting at the hospital and he just got back. Ever since I met him, I have developed a bad habit of not being able to sleep if I was not in his arms, and that's the same thing that had happened tonight. It is already past 12 but I am still awake because he was not at home, but having him by my side now, I feel like all my problems have finally come to an end. You couldn't sleep without me, his voice filter into my ear. I am sorry I didn't come soon. I read a book though, I tell him, and it kept me company. We are both silent for a while, a lot going through our minds, and even if I cannot hear his thoughts, I can guess what is going through his mind. You did well today, my love. His husky voice reaches my ear and I gulp. You really did well today and I am so proud of you, Michelle. I am so proud that I want to give you everything that the world has to offer, and I mean it with everything inside or me. Don't you feel disgusted? I can't help but ask him and I feel his forehead scrunch up. What do you mean? With everything Nicholas said, he wasn't wrong though. Tears well up in my eyes but I refuse to give it the power over me. I shouldn't be the one in pain. Natalia and Nicholas deserve all the pain in the world and not me. I sniff back a tear as he pulls closer to me and buries his face in the crook of my neck. For one, I never expected the moon goddess to bless me with a mate after all the horrible things I have done, and even if I did, I never expected her to bless me with a good mate as you. Since the day you came into my life, it has been nothing but good endeavors. You were pregnant when I found you. Of course I knew you met with someone who made you pregnant, but I still love you because whether you were a virgin or not, it doesn't matter to me. He pulls closer to me again. I love you and I want you, and that the biggest truth of my life, and the babies inside of your womb. He gently caressed my tummy. They belong to me. You and the babies belong to me. I am your husband and they are my babies. I sniff back a tear. His words are making me more emotional than I should be. What in the world did I do to deserve such a kind and loving man like him? You don't need to cry, my love. Enzo, tell me again. Only those you hurt you should cry. You deserve to watch them burn in hell. I turn around and bury myself in his embrace. Thank you, I mutter to him as he begins to stroke my hair slowly. We lay like that for a while until I am able to control myself, and this is when he gently pulls away from me, but his gaze is still on me. I have something for you, Enzo says after a few minutes. He picks up a document from the bedside table and hands it over to me. What is this? Why don't you check it out? With a confused look on my face, I tear open the envelope and bring out the papers inside. As I read through it, a look of surprise flashes through my face. Why in the world would Enzo do something like this? What is this? I raise my head to meet his gaze and he has a coy smirk on his lips. How can you transfer half of your property into my name? What for? And why shouldn't I do that? He folds his hands across his chest. They legally belong to you since you are my mate. I would have transferred it all into your name, but the burden will be too much for you, and that's why I have given you half. As time goes on, I will transfer the other half into your name. I can't help but scoff. Is he kidding me right now? Aren't you afraid that I might run away with everything you have? Enzo laughs at my statement. Can you even do that? He asks me. I will like to see you try, but this is too much for me, Enzo. I don't even know anything about the fashion world, how can I? Liar. He blurts, I did my research on you and you designed most of Nicholas's collections. You really are a rare jewel, but his company is not as big as this, and I am still talking when he yanks me closer and I straddle him. His hand cups my bum and he pulls me closer, our face only an inch apart. Will we keep talking about this, or will I now do what I have been thinking about all day? I know what he is talking about, but I am determined to play hard to get. How can he get everything on a platter of gold just like that? I had my eyes on you throughout and now I won't let you off so easily. I bite down on my lower lip and I watch him groan. Since you have given me a special gift today, I should also let you have your way, shouldn't I? I caress his thin lips gently before pressing a kiss on it. What do you think, I can no longer wait? Kitten. His hoarse voice penetrates my ear before he yanks me closer and captures my lips hungrily. Letting out a heavy sigh, the car door opens and I alight with Enzo by my side. He looks so dashing in this black tailored suit that I can hardly take my eyes off of him. This morning, another dress arrived for me and he told me I would be wearing it to the office. I wanted to decline, but as usual he didn't give me room for it. He is determined to make me more acquainted with the business than I am. Now standing in front of Avanti headquarters with a white knee-length gown and a pair of silver heels, I know for a fact that my life is about to change. Nervous? He asks me and I nod in the negative. Just a bit overwhelmed? I mean, I don't know how your staff are going to react to me. The last time didn't quite end on a good note. Anyone who doesn't accept you can kiss their jobs goodbye, he retorts without thinking twice, and I can't help but scoff. How can he be so nonchalant? Some of these people depend on their jobs to survive, Enzo. Don't do that. I worked so hard so you can enjoy it, baby. I don't care about the world. Not bothering to say anything again, he holds onto my hand and we both make our way into the building. Everyone is already waiting on the first floor, and the moment we enter, all the employees bow to us as a sign of respect and I can see the smiles on their faces. Does this mean they actually approve of me? Congratulations on your wedding, boss, Maria says as she walks up to us with a sweet smile on her face. Congratulations, Mrs. Michelle. She hands me a flower and one of the security guards collects it. Congratulations keep reaching my ear from everywhere and I can't help but be happy. At least they want me here. Why don't you say something to them? Enzo whispers into my ear and I gulp before bracing myself. Hello everyone, I start to talk, the smile on my face widening with each passing moment. I know this might come as a shock and a surprise because it also came to me as one when Enzo handed me some papers and told me I am now connected to the company. I have worked with a fashion brand before and I hope we can work together to create your masterpieces by a fashion brand. Do you mean your ex-husband's company? A random voice said from nowhere and I turned my head to meet her gaze. Instantly I did not like her. From the way she is dressed to the tone of her voice. Who said that? Enzo growls in anger, but I gesture to him to let me talk to her myself. Turning to the lady again, my eyes darken. One thing Enzo has taught me these past few days is his ruthlessness, which I have imbibed like a culture. We saw the news, the girl adds again. Of course I respond to her, and if you truly watched the news to the very end, I am sure you wouldn't be asking such questions now, would you? The girl opens her mouth to say something but stops, and I know why. Enzo is glaring at her. Since I will be working with you all now, I will suggest we don't do anything that will trigger each other. I am a very sensitive person, I tell them, and I do not forgive a mistake more than once. I pause for a while, my eyes drinking in the sight of everyone. The fashion week starts in a day and I hope we will all work together to achieve our common goal. Thank you, Nina. I hear Enzo call out to her. I want to see your resignation letter by the end of today, just as the lady wants to beg. A little commotion at the door draws our attention. Sir Maria walks up to Enzo with a conflicting look on her face. The model from Air just arrived, and by Air, she means Nicholas's company. Michelle's POV. The moment her words reach my ear, my forehead creases into a slight frown. What does she mean by the model was here? Nicholas refused to sign the contract, so why is she here? The more I think about it, the more nothing makes sense to me. What exactly is Nicholas planning to do now? He has always been a sly one. What do you mean the model from Air is here? I asked Maria. I was also unaware of this arrangement, ma'am, Maria answers. I just received a call now. Nicholas. Enzo growls in anger as he balls his hands into a fist. After a few seconds, the lady comes in front of us and she is not someone I know. I actually know the top model that Enzo was trying to get, but this lady looks different from all the models I have seen. I would have recognized her if she was truly the one Enzo wanted. I am not late, am I? She asks the moment she comes to a halt in front of us. My plane was delayed for half an hour and that's why I am a bit late. Excuse me, what is going on here? I ask her. We did not sign the contract, so why are you here? Enzo inquires, anger brewing inside of him. Oh, my boss. Her voice trails off when I see Nicholas walking towards us with a sleazy expression on his face. What is he doing here? How dare he show his face here? My boss actually came with me. The model finishes her statement, but I completely ignore her with my attention on the man walking towards us. If it was a few months ago, I would have been drooling over the blue tailored suit Nicholas was wearing and how good his hair looks, but right now, I can only feel disgusted by him. My thoughts are interrupted for a moment when I feel a hand clasp over mine and I turn to see Enzo. He has the same angry expression as me. How dare Nicholas show his face here? You all should return to your work, Maria announces to everyone. We have a lot to do. After everyone leaves, leaving the rest of us, Nicholas comes to a halt in front of me and he has that smile I hate so much. How can he be void of shame? How can he just walk in here like he owns it? Why are you here, Nicholas? What do you mean, why am I here? He asks me. Weren't we supposed to sign a contract? Have you forgotten? Are you doing this just to provoke me? Enzo hisses in anger. Have you gotten a model for the work? Nicholas inquires again. You know, even if we ended on a bad note, he makes me touch my hair, but Enzo yanks me away from him and I land in his embrace, his hand clasping around me in a defensive manner. I mean, you were my wife, so I should help you, really. A smirk appears on my face. I can already guess what he is doing. I didn't expect you to be foolish and stupid at the same time, Nicholas. Shouldn't you have come up with something more unique and interesting to get my attention? How? Sir, Maria rushes up to us with her eyes wide open and her iPad in hand. She hands the iPad to Enzo and the moment I see the headlines, immense anger surges through me. Breaking news. Billionaire ex-wife gets married to another business tycoon a few after her divorce and the two companies set to sign a collaboration contract. This is clearly the heading, and as if that is not enough, a picture of me and Enzo alongside Nicholas is gracing the front page. I mean, shouldn't we give more juicy news than the shenanigans you and Enzo put up yesterday? Nicholas inquires, his gaze not leaving me, seeing you with another man now? I really want you back, sweetheart, you do. Enzo asks him as he gently lets go of me and walks up to Nicholas. Are you sure about that? Because once the deal is made, you cannot back down. Try me. He turns to me and wink, and at that moment, I can immediately hear his thoughts. Isn't he so naughty? I know exactly what he is about to do and I cannot help but scoff. Since you so badly want my wife, I will let you have her. I see a small frown appear on Nicholas's face as he doesn't seem to understand what Enzo is saying. Since you came all the way here to let your point be known, I should at least be nice. We will sign a contract, and when I mean a contract, I want your company to be a major part of the Fashion Week, and that includes everything and anything. I have some surgeries scheduled at the hospital, so I will let you and my wife handle the work for me while I am away. In 1 week, I will really love to see you make my wife yours again, and if you are unlucky, that will be my cue to destroy you faster than you can imagine. So in the cause of the Fashion Week, I want to see how you woo my wife back. Nicholas Woods born 1 week is enough for me to take back my pretty little thing, Mr. Enzo. Nicholas answers with a smirk on his lips, and she knows that very well. Then, Maria, Enzo beckons to her, prepare the papers and get that trash news taken down from the internet. And you, Nicholas? He turns to Nick with a disgusted look on his face. Next time, you make sure you do a good job if you are going to involve my wife in a scandal. You must have spent billions of dollars trying to get that news up there. Does that really matter? Nicholas scoffs. The end justifies the means. I will take my leave now, he further announces. Before that I chip in. I do not know this model of yours, I tell Nicholas. We were hoping to work with Gigi. Gigi has been in China for a month now, he answers. I paid a hefty sum to bring her from one of the top brands in Asia, and you know what that means. Ma'am, please come with me, Maria tells the model. Let me show you what we have for you. From Maria's face, I know this model can be trusted, and I don't say anything again. After they leave, Nicholas also turns leave, but on impulse he halts. Since your husband has given me a week to get you back, you should get ready for dinner. I will come pick you up. You wish? I spit in anger. I am not going to dinner with you. You are clearly beneath me. If you want to speak to me about something, the doors of my house are open to you. Of course. He winks at me before walking away. As soon as he leaves, Enzo pulls me into his embrace and buries his face in the crook of my neck. His whole body is shaking, and I know he used all his willpower to stop himself from attacking Nicholas. I can feel his wolf begging to be released from its cage. Easy does it, I whisper into his ear. Calm down, Enzo. After a while, he gently pulls away from me and a small smile appears on his face. Are you okay? Do I look okay to you? I roll my eyes at him. You won't let me hear your thoughts, but because of Nicholas you did. Is he that special? Enzo chuckles. Of course not, kitten. Will you be comfortable though? Not to worry, my love. I dust some speck of invisible dust from his suit. I saw your schedule and you would be really busy at the hospital too. It is a good thing that you put that fool in charge of things. He is a bastard, but I am sure he will be able to deliver. I am not asking about the work. Enzo clenches his teeth. I am asking about you. Will you be okay around him? I have a whole team which can take care of the function even if I am away for as long as I want. He grits his teeth in anger. how I want to break his neck in two. Nicholas is my past and he will remain there. Even if you gave him a year, he wouldn't be able to do anything. The dice has been cast, Enzo, now I will make sure you watch a good show. His lips curl up in a smirk, he knows exactly what I am talking about. I made the right choice then. I will use this opportunity to make Nicholas and Natalia wish they never messed with me. I will ask Maria to prepare a really gown for dinner then. Don't get too close to him though. He raises an eyebrow. I don't mind killing him first. I chuckle lightly. He sounds jealous and I totally understand, but Enzo and I have formed an unbreakable relationship after we met. It would take more than one Nicholas to break that up. I will trust you with this job then. Make me proud. Of course I will. I press a gentle kiss on his lips. He will wish he didn't mess with me this time around. My eyes darken as the words leave my mouth. This is my time to take my own pound of flesh, and I am going to take it in a way that neither Nicholas nor Natalia will ever recover from. And the news? That's bullshit, Enzo hisses. The best is yet to come. One side of his lips curls up in a wicked smirk. Hey, he beckons to one of his employees and he rushes towards us. Let Maria know that I want all the reporters who came over to the house yesterday arrested and charged with defamation of character. How dare they try to double-cross me? As I watch him dish out orders, I know for a fact that even in the next lifetime, Nicholas will not be able to match up to him. Join our Facebook and WhatsApp group for more updates, link is given in description. Rest audiobook will be continued in next episode.